ain't taking my hair down tonight.
That would be the first words that were heard.
Hey, I ain't taking my hair down tonight. Folks, I am not taking my hair down tonight. No. Maybe tomorrow night.
Still feels
Or
weird.
wait, when's it supposed to get warm? Saturday, I think. I'll probably take my hair down Friday night then. It's gonna be warm Saturday.
Friday says 71 high, Saturday 77, Sunday 82, Monday 85.
Okay, I'm gonna take my hair down tomorrow night.
Tomorrow on Thursday 66. That's the one coolest day.
Alright. Yep. Cool. Tight. Gooba dooba dooba.
It's Wednesday night and you know what that means. It's time for this man to take down his hair.
No, it is not. I don't take my hair down on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Range of motions. In the building.
We are top rope
still.
We're Top Rope Tokes here to talk to you about AEW Dynamite. He already said it. That's range of motions. I'm just saying. And this week, I am not forgetting.
Wrestling.
It's off rip. Didn't talk about it too much, really, besides during the show if something came up. But it's time for the good, the bad, and the ugly of the episode of Dynamite right before a Double or Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say was your good?
So they propped out my girl Willow for winning her first world title of the New Japan World Strong title.
The inaugural champion.
She's the inaugural champion. She got the win over Mercedes Moné.
I'm glad that they made that reference too, because it did make it feel like, hey, this was a big deal.
Yeah, she got the big win over Mercedes Moné. Willow is a champion now, and now she gets to show everyone that this is where she should be. And you need to put belts on her all the time. Give her all the belts, goddammit.
So if I had to go with a good, honestly, I don't know, because it didn't feel like anything was too standout for this show. There's a lot of things that were like almost like teasers. We talked about some of the great matches that could have been, but I guess the one thing I am left with was Dax Harwood on the mic tonight. It was pretty fun. He took some shots that you don't necessarily see him take so much.
Yeah, Dax Hardwood was going hardwood.
I mean, he said no tag team championships for the TNA rechecks, referring to Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. He talked about him having job security and Jeff Jarrett running back to Dixie Carter. Yeah. And then, oh no! That was only the start of it. The real good was the slap fest by Mark Briscoe.
Yeah, that's a real good right there, because he slapped everybody, or at least we in both of our heads there, he slapped everybody and walked off.
I know there's a comedy skit or something where this has happened, where somebody's just, it was the parent that going into the party get pissed off at all the little kids or whatever, and it slaps like all the little kids. And that's what I'm thinking.
There's so many things. There's a Method Man, not Method Man. God damn it! Sorry, Red Man song.
Is it bad that when you say Method Man, no, not Method Man, my first thought is, okay, well, Red Man?
Yeah. I'm like, God damn it. I always do that. But yeah, there's a Red Man song that came out a few years ago called Slap the Shit Out You. and and the music video, he just goes around and everybody keeps asking him for stuff, and he just keeps slapping the shit out of people. And, and this is what it makes me think of.
To be honest, there's probably one music video in the last like 5 years, 10 years that's been made that I could actually tell you what the music video was like.
See,
When
I remember
MTV
that
mattered.
video because of that.
What would your bad of the night be?
Ooh. My bad.
To be honest, I'm also still figuring mine out, so you're not
I
alone.
feel like. All right, so I'm gonna use the Tony Khan announcement because, come on, man, we all knew it was gonna be the United Center. The fuck out of here.
Like, when the rumors first happened about this TV show, it was already rumored that the first episode was going to be in Chicago.
It's all been all but sure, and the fact that you made a show this close, no announcement, we knew it had to be Chicago because you only do that confidently in Chicago.
So the only thing that I would question about him doing this announcement was he said it was fitting that they were in Las Vegas when they were making this announcement, where the home of AEW started, but then says Chicago.
Yeah.
Kind of going in a more broad sense, I would have to say my bad was the fact that we had two different matches that, had they been given another 5 to 10 minutes, could have been really, really good. Because main event, I found it actually be entertaining.
Yeah.
If it was a serious tag team pay-per-view match where it got like another 8 minutes or so, could have been amazing. And then Roderick Strong, Daniel Garcia, like 8-9 minutes.
Yeah, that was maybe 8 minutes.
Even my ugly
At
is
the
gonna,
most, I think.
even my ugly is gonna be a toss-up between two things. So I'm kind of hoping you take one. Do you know you're ugly?
You know me, I always go my ugly is going to be completely different from whatever you've got going on because my ugly is always going to be something fashion related.
All right, now I'm just gonna lump these two things together. The Wardlow promo and the Jungle Boy video promo, both were just find the closest dumpster, throw it in there, and burn that footage because it is just trash. The only thing you're saving Wardlow's was Arn Anderson having reason to be like, 4 days? Look at that.
That move. Gosh. Yeah, I didn't like that at all either. But my ugly was Jericho's stupid suit with the spikes. It's so stupid. So stupid. And I thought it was hilarious when he was trying to put his legs on the table and he was like struggling to not stab himself with the spikes in his pants. Yeah. Ugly pants. Ugly suit.
I just had it for so long. I didn't even pay attention to it until you pointed it out. Then I looked down and I was like, oh yeah, that was not a smooth transition and throwing your legs up on the table. Not whatsoever.
Yeah, it was a struggle. I mean, he was about to stab himself with his own pants. So he had to be careful.
It's alright, according to the promo, Adam Cole's gonna maim him anyways at the pay-per-view.
I mean, he's gonna do just about everything that you can do to him, apparently, because it was like a list almost of things that he was just gonna. I'm gonna break your legs and your arms and your fingers and your. I'm like, okay,
Hey man,
all right, I get it.
there's a lot of successful promos with Jericho over the years that include a list.
I know.
Armbar. Armbar.
Jericho's lists, man. Shit. So, do we want to just start off with that segment since that's where we are right now?
Yeah, and it does take us into a match. I could all throw it in.
Yeah.
So tonight, even though Chris Jericho had his paperwork drawn up to say these two men could not be in the same arena, and that was only like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Yeah, 3 weeks ago, because 2 weeks ago we were there. So tonight was the night for the contract signing for their unsanctioned match at the pay-per-view, which usually go on last because they cut the lights and stuff. There's no way this main event's the show, right? It has to be the world title match.
My first few notes in here is Jericho has too many spikes on his pants. He can't get his legs on the table. It was so great. Me taking notes is so pointless. Like, I get the dumbest minor details.
Hey man, we both took notes on the red Dodge Ram truck last week. So this starts off, Tony Schiavone says, hey, we all agreed no physicality, which is always weird because the trope was contract signing. Somebody's probably going through a table by the end of it.
Right. Like, you have the table in the middle so someone can go through it.
Like we've
That's
seen
just logic.
And we've seen so many other matches happen on the fly where no contract was required. What's the story here?
Whack.
When it comes to the contract, of course, Adam Cole signs it immediately, basically tosses it to Jericho.
He's like, it was like a crackhead being given crack. He was like, oh, your shit. Yeah.
That's when Adam Cole goes on his promo, which I was like, wait, there's got to be more to it. He can't just give it to Jericho and then let Jericho do all the talking, especially if there's not going to be a fight.
Yeah.
Honestly, he said a lot. I didn't necessarily write down a lot because some of it was very cliche or like redundant point making. He ends up saying Jericho feels invincible. They should be thanking him. It's an unsanctioned match because Jericho's blood's going to be on his hands and not the company's, and that's why, and that's the way he likes it.
That was the best line out of that, and the only one that I really actually took down.
You already kind of mentioned like the majority of the rest of what he said, which was, hey, we're going to see if you can walk because I'm going to break your legs. We're going to see you can talk because I'm going to shatter that jaw. They kind of stumbled on the next one.
Yeah, I couldn't remember that next one, but it was something about his hands because he was going to see if he can write or something like that.
Yep.
Next.
And he says, so you better sign this contract right now while you still can.
Bitch. Sign it, bitch. And the crowd just starts chanting, sign it, bitch. Sign it, bitch. Sign it, bitch.
And of course, Jericho, being the veteran in the business, working the crowd, says, I'm no bitch. I'm not from Las Vegas.
Jericho. Yeah, and then, he completely flips. He goes back to his flipping of the Adam Cole letting things happen to Britt.
What kind of man does this?
Yeah, like he's like, what kind of man would let the love of his life get beaten right in front of him? And it's like, dog, you orchestrated the whole thing.
No,
and then
he did have a good line though. He said, I think that head injury that had you out for 9 months really messed with your head. Let me remind you, is just so we could play the video again to piss Adam Cole off.
Yeah, and then he shows that clip. And of course, it's like the cut part where you can't see his hands attached to the ring. And it doesn't show Jericho doing anything to him. It just shows Cole watching Britt get beat.
Meanwhile, we come back, you see Jericho just like this big old shit-eating grin on his face, just putting his jaw out, like wanting Adam Cole to hit him. It's not like they ever announced, oh, if he hits you, this happens to him, or the match is canceled.
Yeah, they didn't say anything like that any point, but that's how they were treating it, though, for sure.
Honestly, if it's not unsanctioned match and it doesn't count like towards your record and everything, there is no difference there. It's not like you lose a match or anything that matters technically. So fight them now,
but
fight them then.
what kind of man attacks someone at a contract signing, though?
Every wrestler in pro wrestling history.
What kind of man would do that? Like, I gotta find Jericho clips to see if he's actually, because watch him actually never have done it to someone.
So this whole thing was Jericho ends up saying, "Look, I outsmarted you. No rules. 5 of us, 2 of you." And then Cole says he called somebody that lives in Vegas, and I'm sitting there trying to think of who his friends are that are free agents. I'm like, is Kyle O'Reilly can't be healthy yet, can he? And then I'm like, please tell me they would not bring back Bobby Fish, let alone without Kyle O'Reilly. It makes 0 sense. At this point, I was lost. Who was it?
Completely. They brought out Sabu.
I mean, I know this man never really looked young, even like in like ECW in the late 90s and early 2000s. He did not look like a young man. He looks like he's like too old to be doing much of anything. Either you froze or you haven't moved in a minute.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, he doesn't look believable to be doing anything out there. But it popped me to see that. Just because
it was a shocker.
Yeah. And I haven't seen him since I was a kid.
Apparently, just to kind of tell you how we really feel about it. Normally, something like this, a surprise, might have made our good of the night. No, neither of us even thought about it.
I didn't even, that and
Willow.
They showed Willow. So I had to.
So
either way.
So when he comes out,
Sabu threw a chair at Daddy Magic. And that's all I needed.
He kind of walked up towards them. They kept calling him crazy and stuff as they're walking up. But
because he's crazy.
Insert a small video package here for the women's championship match at Double or Nothing, because right after that we come back and they're separating the groups. They're all leaving ringside, and we go right into the Daniel Garcia versus Roderick Strong match. That was way too short to really let either of them showcase.
Yeah, that match needed some time. Because just getting those guys in there for a few minutes, and then Garcia's pace is a little bit slower. Like, I don't know much about Roderick Strong, but I know Garcia's pace is a little bit slower. And the way Roderick Strong works, he could definitely go for like a half hour easy. I can tell that just seeing him a couple times.
Yeah.
But so they definitely needed more time for this thing to actually happen, because they didn't get to do very much.
And then Daniel Garcia brought a little back of the pro wrestler side of things, where he was a lot more ferocious and like intense and always like aggressive in the ring. Could be
He's
good.
Ferocious. He was intense.
He was a dancing machine. What are you talking about?
That's what I said. He was ferocious. You didn't see those. You didn't see the gyration. You didn't see those hip thrusts. That was intense. Okay.
You didn't hear the fans chanting, "You can't dance."
The fans don't know what they're talking about. Daniel Garcia out there is gyrating for the win.
But yeah, this eventually ends with End of Heartache. Now, there was one moment where commentary timed it so perfectly. They're sitting there talking about Roderick Strong's variations of the backbreaker and how it utilizes it, and then he went from what looked like a captured belly to belly to a backbreaker, and I was like, and that's right on cue, and it's a very different look of backbreaker.
Yeah, his backbreakers were. I was like, because every time he did one, I'm like, that looked like, because it always looks like he's doing something that other people do, and it turns into a backbreaker. So I'm like, oh, a back, what? That's a backbreaker? All right.
Hey man, he's just gonna find a way to drop your back over his knee. Doesn't matter how you get there, but fuck your back.
Hey. Yeah, he probably. Poor Daniel Garcia is probably not going to be able to gyrate anytime soon.
So it wasn't the smoothest version of it I've seen. But seeing Roderick Strong's finishing move, because he beat Jericho with that rising knee, right?
Mm-hmm.
So seeing the end of Heartache tonight, what do you think of it? And it was not the smoothest. I've seen them land a lot more flush on his knees, but it's quite different.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, definitely. I can tell that it could be cleaner. Probably would look better, a little cleaner, but I like it a lot actually, and it's different.
And I think by having him beat Jericho with his knee, you establish something that he could use on bigger people that he would struggle to do the end of Heartache on.
Yeah, he's gonna.
I've got a cookie.
Oh my gosh, what kind of cookie you got though?
Jimmy John's triple chocolate chip cookie. Triple chip cookie.
Triple chip.
Sorry, it felt like there wasn't much more to add to that one.
Oh.
So I was like, hey, comedic humor.
It's all good. I don't have a Jimmy John's triple chip cookie. I don't have. I have tortilla chips at my desk here. I don't have any other snacks. I have Hey Arnold, the complete series.
Nope, I don't want to show that one. Where's the one I want?
Oh,
The Mighty Ducks movies.
yeah.
Could go for a while because my shelf is right there with everything up there. I was like, first thing I went to grab was American Pie. I was like, no, not that.
I have books above me.
Hold on, I know what should have been the right answer.
Yeah. I have one of those in the living room, though. I refuse to get up.
Honestly, top 2 Christmas gifts I've ever had, and it was like way long after the fact it came out, so it was like one of those like bin type of movies at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's something that you gotta have.
Before we get back to wrestling, I'll to say this much. It was one of those things I randomly kind of said it like it as a throwaway line, like months and months and months before Christmas. And then we get to that Christmas, my sister's over, we're sitting there, and she's like, I hope you were serious when you said you wanted this, because it wasn't the easiest thing to necessarily find, but I just came across. So she didn't know how serious I was. I opened it up, did like one of those little freak out things where I was like, because I had no idea what she was talking about. I was like, holy shit. Yes. I meant it 100%. Yes. So we're older at the time, not a whole lot to grab. So we grab the Christmas stuff once everything's done. Move into the room. I start to kind of put everything in a pile, kind of get ready to put some of the clothes away, some of this way, and everything. But before I do any of this, I open up that Blu-ray, I toss it in my PlayStation, and I just stand there in front of the TV and watch at least a half hour of Space Jam before I proceed to do anything else.
Uh, I think I watched it the same day I got it as well.
It was just one of those
Had to.
things. Did not think about it whatsoever when she was talking about. So I was like, what the hell could she be talking about?
She was talking about the Space Jam. All right. Lay your hands in the air if you feel right. Under the space.
Something about taking it to overtime. Welcome to the Space Jam.
It's your chance to enter the Space Jam.
Copyright strikes.
Oh man.
So
oh yeah. Before we get back into any topics, so I came up with a drinking game before this Dynamite
we failed miserably
because we've got the Dynamite before pay-per-view has had patterns lately, we'll say, of nothing but pull apart brawls and nothing promos. So I was like, you know what we should do? We should take a shot for every pull apart brawl. And if there's a pull apart brawl to end the show, we do 2 shots. And then you want to know how many pull apart brawls there were on this show? 0. This was a sober show.
And honestly, I'm sure it happened at some point, but it wasn't in the way that was. But we came up with alternative things that you could add on to besides that. Like, you have to chug the entire time that Excalibur does a rundown. But he kind of talked about Dynamite in the opening, but it wasn't the super fast rundown. I can't remember if he did one tonight.
He did.
That,
Oh, yeah, because he did the rundown for, he basically did the entire Double or Nothing card. So that would have been murder right there.
question. What the hell is
And you know
happening
he
on
doesn't do
Rampage?
that
Because I don't remember.
Of course. Let's see here. Acclaimed are always on Rampage, so Acclaimed Daddy Ass. I don't know who they're gonna wrestle, but they're definitely gonna be on there. Who else is always on Rampage?
I'm having other problems. I can't even remember who they've been feuding with right now. Who do we see them face in the trios match with Daddy Ass? Because I don't even remember.
The last match they faced Tony Nese and Mark Woods and Ari Daivari. Yeah. That was the last Rampage.
Oh yeah,
I don't know who this Rampage is. It's somebody else that's not going to have a chance against them. Yeah.
So
when do they get their shot against
Oh. I feel like if they're gonna do it with Daddy Ass, it could just be a Dynamite or a Rampage. Because you're not winning with Daddy Ass against House of Black.
But he's Daddy Ass, though.
Still don't feel like it should happen. The man is 60 or something.
He's like, but he's Daddy Ass, though.
All right, I want Danhausen as world champion if we're going for believable. I mean, it's hard to say because he is built like a fucking god.
I was gonna say Billy Gunn is built like he would break Danhausen in half.
But I mean, in this match, he'd have to go against Brody King.
Yeah.
He's definitely got height advantage, but
Yeah, he's got height on him.
he's old and brittle. I don't care how much muscle's in there. We're only in our mid-30s. Imagine how that man has to feel after a career in wrestling.
He probably feels great because he gets to hang out with Anthony Bowens and Max Caster all the time. That's my input.
I mean, we can talk about it.
But I'm gonna say I was trying to segue that way.
I know there's really not going to be a ton to talk about.
I mean, hey, House of Black. So what did you? So aren't there? Isn't there the shit? Goddamn English. All right. So isn't the challengers? Aren't they supposed to be able to make a stipulation to the match?
All right.
Did you hear what that was?
Early in this match, I heard something towards the end, but I don't know if they were saying for house rules or whatever matches in general, or if it was specifically for this match. But they had said actual tags are not required. It's just that you have to have one man in the ring at all times, which is why, like, when there were submissions and stuff, they said if he just rolled out, another guy could have came in. But since he stayed in the match and he tried to get to his corner, it made it more difficult on him.
Yep. See, I missed that. Okay, so that's what the rule was. Because I mean, the best friends, their rules just no spooky chicks.
Even though she had just fought a falls count or no holds barred match.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's why they're like no spooky chicks. She just wrestled. She needs to rest now.
Yeah, they were just trying to be a polite gentleman. That's all it was.
I know.
It wasn't trying to get a rules advantage to the match whatsoever.
Right. Not at all.
They were thinking about you, Julia. They were thinking about you.
That's right. The leader of the House of Black. Yeah, but the House of Black put on a good show for their leader, Julia Hart. Here.
Every time they showed her at ringside, like watching the match, just her looking angry, I'm like, I don't know why. I'm like, it works. It works so well.
Yeah, it just does. The gimmick is, she's found the right one. She's found the right gimmick. It works. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it.
Someone recently, it might have been AEW, like honoring an anniversary or something, but there was a clip online that was showing her back in her cheerleader gimmick. I don't want to say gimmick because it's what she was, but her simple response was, "I hate green and yellow." In my head, I wanted to respond like, "Yeah, fuck Green Bay," but
yeah,
different reasons.
Yeah, Green Bay sucks. Yeah.
This was
Heck yeah, Julia.
This House of Black match versus AR Fox, Blake Christian, and Grand Metalik. Surprisingly, not a complete squash match.
Yeah, definitely not a squash. I mean, you had to. Those three guys are so exciting. You got to let them get a little bit of an offense in somewhere. So definitely can't be a squash. As per usual, whenever Buddy is in the ring with my favorite person from the other team, I always say, man, I really want to see this singles match. And that's what happened when I saw Buddy and AR Fox in the ring. I was like, man, I would really like that Buddy and AR Fox match. AEW, if you're out there watching, give me that Buddy AR Fox match.
Not even gonna lie, like at first I had to stop and think of who you would be talking about. That I thought about the 3 minute. I was like, oh, he's talking about AR Fox. In my head though, him versus Blake Christian too. I mean, even though he hasn't been on the TV enough to really matter, seeing him in person a couple of times that we have and everything else, like I know he can go.
That would be incredible too, yeah. Blake Christian is dope.
It's amazing the year during the course of time that we've been watching and paying more attention to the independent scene, kind of seeing his name kind of rise up where I'd never really heard it before then either. Like, we're starting to know some of these people.
Yeah, that's one thing that's been a lot of fun is now I'm like, I know a lot of indie wrestlers now too. Like Blake Christian, that guy, his name is everywhere, but if you don't watch indie wrestling, his name is nowhere.
Mm-hmm. So real quick, obviously, House of Black wins this.
Yeah.
Buddy has AR Fox in the inverted cloverleaf. Then Malachi rolls up Metalik into a knee bar. And then the always fun Brody choking the shit out of somebody while hanging them to Blake Christian.
Yes. I love that. I think his I forget what is that like a pile driver that he uses to finish? Not like a pile driver, it's something else. I forget what that's called.
So
but
I
that
know
other
when they
thing
do
that
it
he
as a
uses to
tag
finish.
team, they call it Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if they refer to that if he does like a similar move on his own.
I feel like it's referred to as something different on his own. But if he's going to finish on his own, he has to be doing that from now on. That's like, it's just one of my favorite finish. The image of just the guy going limp and falling to the ground.
So I know in the old video games, especially once Rikishi really came around, they called it the Samoan driver in video games. But also I believe that would be the same move essentially that Owen Hart broke Stone Cold's neck with, like a sit out tombstone. That's what they would call it.
Mm-hmm.
So quick question, because it's not off topic, but before we go into something else. During the near year that we've been going to all these different wrestling shows and everything, give me a name that you would see if it popped up on AEW that you'd be like, oh, person.
Put a motherfucker on the spot.
Oh, I'm thinking about that myself too. I got an obvious answer, but I feel like it has to be disqualified, which is Nick Wayne, because he had already literally signed a contract, like a futures contract with AEW.
Yeah, he's already signed. I don't know.
But when it happens.
Shit, I don't know. I guess it would probably be like Effie.
I feel like we
never happened, I'm sure, but
has Allie ever been on actual TV with AEW? I feel like she might have did like some of the YouTube stuff.
Maybe.
But she'd be up there. I kind of can't wait for Jordan Oliver to kind of make it somewhere. He might have did YouTube for them too, for all we know, though.
I don't know. I feel like half of them, like half of every indie wrestler has been on the YouTube show at least once, I feel like.
Not only that, but like even going to our local, Ren Jones was on SmackDown.
So I've seen him. Yeah, he's been on AEW a couple times. Been on SmackDown.
Like Allison Kay, I know you've enjoyed her, but like she's been everywhere.
Yeah, she's been everywhere. Especially with her being local, we're of course going to see her a lot.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like even on TV, like being in Impact and being, yeah.
She's been on a few shows lately. Yeah.
So one thing got kind of back to normal for this Dynamite, despite the fact that it was a Dynamite before the pay-per-view. And after having 2 weeks being off from being the show opener, Orange Cassidy was back to open up AEW Dynamite tonight.
Oh, yeah.
The traditional show opener.
It's because Claudio closed the show. Claudio is the new opener.
Man, if they ever think that he's gonna be, no, please, no. Do not try to force that.
It's Claudio. He's the opener. He comes in and sets the tone.
If anyone was ever watch this back later, and you feel like making a meme, do the whole "I'm the captain now" thing, but put Claudio's head on it and say "I'm the opener now."
Claudio, the opener now.
Only us will understand this.
Dude.
But
yeah. The Orange Cassidy and Carl Fletcher.
that's what could have been the good too. Officially, I mean, it happened on Dynamite, but it happened during Dynamite. It was announced Aussie Open.
Oh yeah, that's a great.
They have signed. They are officially all elite, despite one member of the team being out for injury. Now I'm gonna have to see how long that injury is for.
Okay. But that explains why Fletcher's been appearing randomly.
Definitely tells us it's a longer term injury though too.
Yeah, definitely lets you know that much. They're like, yeah, we gotta get Fletcher in here to get some work.
So I know you were having a little bit of technical difficulties during the course of this match, trying to get everything up and running right. I actually really thought the story to this match early on was awesome, because Orange Cassidy being so beat up would have taken any way that he could win. Like, he tried to get a count out just so he could lay in the ring and get the win.
Yeah, I like that. I love that, actually. Because Orange Cassidy is just, he's so good. Because you never think that he's going to lose, but you constantly think, okay, well, he's really selling this really well. He could lose this time.
And honestly,
And he gets me every damn time.
when it happened, I kind of laughed to myself. I'm like, man, trying to win by countouts and stuff, that is not the babyface thing to do typically in wrestling. But like for here, it was just like, no, the man is just trying to be smart and win however he can.
Yeah.
He is hurt.
And I love that. I love it. He's Orange Cassidy, man. It makes sense that he might try to win by a count out, because that means he wins without doing work.
Mm-hmm. Win the laziest way possible. He should just lay down the mat with his thumb up like this.
Yeah. I think that's so good.
So right here, right now, I'm gonna put that little graphic up because there is a sequence of events that it made Orange Cassidy look really fucking strong, but it was also crazy as hell to see, because there was an exchange of like a roll-up situation, but Kyle Fletcher stood up out of it while still holding on to Orange Cassidy. Tombstone pile driver, doesn't let go, gets back up. Tombstone pile driver again. Orange Cassidy kicks out because Orange Cassidy.
He's Orange Cassidy, dog.
But we weren't done yet.
Oh no.
He pulls him up, goes over to the turnbuckle, starts to set up like a second rope tombstone. There's a little bit of a fight skirmish. It ends up more like, what would you say, a Michinoku driver?
It ended up as like Michinoku driver. It was like a spinning version of one. Yeah. But yeah, that was dope too. That was that was actually the first note that I had, other than yo. Literally just yo.
And if you couldn't tell, because the way that we've been talking about it, Orange Cassidy wins this match, so it means that even that move off of the ropes was not enough to put him away.
can't put away Orange Cassidy. That man's gonna win forever, okay?
That is part of the reason why I could see him not winning at the pay-per-view. Because it's a...
I know. He's so weird, as in I can see him winning forever, but I could also see him losing at any time randomly.
Oh yeah. Especially because his like open challenges aren't against Ryan Nemeth or
Right.
JD Drake.
Right. Like Jade Cargill open challenges are against indie wrestlers that have never appeared on AEW before.
So,
but Orange Cassidy has guys that you would actually want to see. Yeah.
They're all typically people that you could see holding a title on that level at some point in AEW. Like, by some point, I mean now.
Mm-hmm. I thought for sure Wheeler Yuta was going to beat him.
I thought early on, because of the story that they were telling before the firm kind of imploded with MJF and everything, I thought the obvious path was Ethan Page the way that they were going. Here we are, forever later.
Right. We're still going, and I am still down because the international title is way above that TNT title now, in which I thought the TNT title was supposed to be the number 2 title, but the international title is far more important than the TNT title.
Well, they always talk about the champion makes a man or the man makes the championship. Well, this is definitely a case of the man making the champion because Orange Cassidy, we're entertained by Wardlow. Please get the fuck off of my screen.
It's not even Wardlow's fault because
whose fault is it that he can't talk though?
I know you just want to hate Wardlow, and that's all we can do is hate Wardlow.
No, go on.
No, but just that TNT title belt, it has been trash for about a year now.
Hey man, I enjoyed the King of Television, Samoa Joe.
Yeah, Samoa Joe, the King of Television, was the only bright spot, but otherwise, it's been just hot potato, hot potato, hot potato, hot potato, hot potato.
What's sad is I can't even remember who had it before Wardlow the original time.
See, I can't remember anymore either.
I just remember we went from
it was Scorpio Sky.
Oh, yeah, that whole thing was terrible too.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter who it is. They need Orange Cassidy to have all the belts, apparently.
We should have seen all this coming when they gave them the stupidest tag team name in the world, War Joe.
Oh, gosh.
Had those two titles.
Don't even do it. Don't even do it.
What's another good thing we could talk about?
Say we talked about. We already talked about the Wardlow. I think.
I mean, sort of.
We might as well talk about the Pillar interviews. Well, all the Pillar segments, I guess.
All right, sure.
Because that's a lot of the show.
Just like last week. It was last week, right? Where they each individually had their own little segment. 4 pillars. Thankfully, they started with the worst.
Yeah, Jungle Boy, his promo. I don't expect a whole lot out of his promos anymore because he's just not there yet. I feel like he can get there because he's got personality, but he just doesn't say shit at all, ever.
I mean, he tried to make a point saying like, "Hey, I used to drive these roads all the time, and every year it's a little bit changing, but now he's gonna be the AEW champion, whatever." So the best way to describe a Jungle Boy promo is actually something that MJF said later in the night. So we'll circle back. How bad Jungle Boy's promos are. So
I want to like him. I really want to like him, but I would rather he not talk that much, or at least develop his mic skills before they throw him in a role where he's going to be talking this much.
hey man, he's got to practice. Thankfully, we already know he's not winning the title.
Right.
Next.
I mean, we know, like, obviously what's happening, but you know.
Next, we had Sammy with Renee. How did you feel about this? Because it was vastly different than some. He didn't get that big hometown pop kind of stuff and everything behind him this time.
So I've been enjoying Sammy more recently just because there's been a change and it's been different. But the last couple times now, he's pretty much just said the same thing. Like, I feel like he doesn't know how to be a babyface. So he's just getting stale already for me. And I'm like, I don't want him to get stale that fast because I just started to not hate him.
Yeah, him as a babyface, his promos have been similar in regards to Jungle Boy in the kind of cliche saying the same stuff. Not that they say the same stuff, but just what they say in general. The only thing is Sammy's better at it. The way he talks, kind of like camera presence, etc. So it's better, but not significantly as a babyface.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, neither one of them were anything to write home about. That's for sure.
Darby didn't have a backstage or a video one that I missed, did he?
No.
So his was to interrupt MJF.
Yep. I mean, MJF had too much time, so he had to take some of it. I understand.
I mean, that's the...
You got to do what you got to do.
Crutch of half the story is the fact that he gets all this and they don't. So...
Yeah.
He's...
I loved when he was coming out and he immediately takes the detour to take Tony Schiavone's drink and throw it in his face.
That's a fun little moment. Now, I took 0 notes on it till like the very end, besides the fact of he made jokes about all of them, like saying he wishes Darby would climb out after us and his shoelaces untied, like hope he slips on, falls off, right? I can't remember what he said for Sammy, do you?
No.
But do you remember what he said for Jack Perry?
I think he said something about boring himself to death.
Said he wishes he could send him to an echo chamber and force him to talk so he can bore himself to death. And I was like, yes, that is so perfect considering how he felt about the promo.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's sucks. It sucks for him, but his promos are boring. It's the truth. That's why it stings, because it's true.
You just want to be able to go like this in the crowd and then
I
not
do.
have to be disappointed when the song ends.
I do. Exactly. I want him to just wrestle. Just song, then wrestle. That's it.
So MJF does bounce back, and we kind of talked about this when they first started this whole 4 pillar story, that like MJF kind of took like a back seat in their promos and kind of helped everybody else have a really good one. And this was a moment he kind of pivoted and he started to give them credit. Because he talks about those are the 4 guys that nobody had seen before. They helped grow the company, blah, blah, blah. Give it some of the best moments. And says they are AEW. He did something kind of put his opponents over, which has been talked about plenty in wrestling. Like, if you beat a nobody, it does nothing for you. But if you beat a somebody, don't devalue your opponents necessarily.
Right. Yeah, that was different. But that was MJF literally just giving a promo for the match itself, not being in. And I was like, all right, he just wants to promote the match in general. Like, hey, this is not going to be the foregone conclusion that you all think it is. And I think that's what he was telling us in MJF words, is make sure you watch this match because it's not going to be just something that you can skip.
You know what? Kind of thinking about it back and the way that you're putting it in context too. Honestly, it's just amazing that as young as he is, we know he's good on the mic, but also just in general, the mind for the business to be able to work that stuff in and be a promoter, which is what you are supposed to do as a champion.
Yeah, the dude is he's got it. Yeah. He has got the face of the company, walk, talk, and mindset.
At least until 2024.
The bidding war of 2024.
We haven't heard a whole lot about it lately, but it came back up tonight. He says this 4-way match where he doesn't have to be pinned is just a way for everyone to hit the panic button, knowing that he could take his ball and go home. So they want to get that belt off of him however they can.
Yep. So now Tony Khan planned this out. He doesn't even have to get pinned to lose.
So it's kind of nice to be able to take something kind of like pretty unrelated and work it into a story as a believable way. Like, this is what more people need to be able to do.
Yeah.
Teach them the ways, MJF. Teach them the ways.
I mean, he said it. None of the other pillars are on the level of the devil.
And that's why he's going to leave as champion.
And that's why Darby was like, I'm going to come out here with my big old space boots.
And Jeff called them stilts. And so I kept waiting for them to get a full body shot of Darby just so I could see. I'm like, all right, he does feel like he's a little bit taller.
Yeah, I peeped the boots right away. His boots almost won over Jericho's spikes.
I was about to ask you, what was the ugly again? Because boots. I'm surprised.
Some big ass boots. I mean, it's a style, you know. It's a gangster style.
Man, it looks like he was wearing astronaut boots mixed with snowshoes. The way the sole projected out.
I didn't know that they had goths under 30. I thought all the goths were like our age millennials now.
Well, I mean, I don't think he's that far behind us.
Is he? He said he graduated high school in 2011.
Yeah, so only 5. So it's not a huge gap. Okay. He's 30 years old.
Okay. Okay, so he's probably like right at the goth cusp.
He's a year younger than my baby sister.
Okay.
That makes me feel a little less old, knowing that I'm not that much older than him. It's a gap, but it's not like 10 years. Like MJF is 10 years.
Yeah, Gramps.
Listen, man, You are
Younger than you. I know.
about
Thank you for
4 months
telling everyone
and
about how much younger I am than you. Yep.
4 months younger than
Youth.
me.
You want to know?
A
No, you want
little
to know
less than
what?
7 months.
You are a year older than me, okay?
You know what? Hold on. Let's see what calendar. What day of the week is your birthday on this year? Are we gonna be live?
You
Will
are
I
a
be able
year
to clip
older
this back?
than me.
Hey, guess what, Range? Guess what your birthday plans are this year?
Not Dynamite.
An AEW Dynamite review in which I can throw you a freaking birthday party and be like, congrats on joining the 35. Because October 4th is a Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm busy that day.
Yeah, watching Dynamite and doing a review.
I've got things going on. Many things because I'm a young man, unlike you.
Oh shit, by the way, we were talking about something. Darby comes out, he talks a bunch, then Sammy eventually hits a low blow. Sammy runs out to chase MJF off, and as he's going up the ramp, Jungle Boy comes out and lays him out with a clothesline. Picks up the title belt, which is rule number 1 of things you don't do before a championship matchup if you are the challenger.
Hey, he could be the first challenger to win the belt after touching it.
Listen, the way he cuts promos right now, I don't want to imagine him as the first ever anything.
I mean, realistically, no. There's no way that MJF loses the belt.
Alright, so who do you feel is like the most likely one outside of if MJF was not going to retain?
If MJF was not going to retain.
Who do you think is more likely, Darby or Sammy? Because not Jack Perry.
I feel like Darby's a safer choice.
I agree. But you're still kind of figuring out where Sammy's going right now.
Yeah. Because, Sammy's character, you don't know what's happening with him right now. Darby, he's kind of gotten the same reactions throughout. Like, people love some Darby Allin, so that wouldn't be a horrible idea, but they're not taking that shit off of MJF. Fuck no.
Exactly.
Darby's not built up enough to take the belt, obviously.
Here's a general question for you.
No.
Can you ever see Darby being world champion?
I could.
I want it to be the shortest reign possible if he does. Like, he hits the mountain peak and then he's just destroyed by somebody.
I think that's what will happen. I think he'll have, but I think eventually I think eventually they're gonna need to give him a title run. Like a real short one, but I think he should get one.
Hey, man.
Like maybe to be the transitional person between like the two big bad heels or something.
MJF actually leaves the company at the end of 2024, gives it to Darby, and then like January 1st, somebody else takes it from him.
Right.
Well, he could always go for the international title since the only title he's won is the TNT title. That's clearly a step down from the international championship.
It is. I guess the TNT title probably gets more promo time, but by design, I believe. I don't know. But either way, the international title's better.
Alright, so at this point we can basically not talk about Ricky Starks and Renee Paquette because really?
Yeah, he was focusing his efforts on. Yeah, Ricky's. Yeah, Ricky was just why. Why?
He's like, I'm
Like,
done
what do
with
you
them.
mean?
I want that
Like, what do you mean
international.
you're done with them? After that, you're not done. You know you're not done with them. You know they're not done with you. What do you mean you're done?
What's funny is they got the win, but they got hit with the steel chair, and yet they weren't even pissed off. They were like, "No, we're not done with you." When they attacked, we're like, "We're having too much fun, pissing you
Exactly.
off."
Right. It's like, come on, Ricky, what did you think? Ricky! Jews screaming, Ricky!
There is the. Nope, we already talked about that. Taya Valkyrie versus Lady Frost, the first credible challenger Jade's had in months. Probably since Nyla Rose, right? That's the last one that we actually felt was a significant feud.
Yeah. Definitely. Because they didn't do anything with two of the black baddies splitting.
That was over so fast. Like, here's your random match that we're not really going to build to.
I don't know what they were thinking. But, hey, this is a feud that they have been building. Appreciate it.
It's also nice to see Jade actually on Dynamite versus Rampage. She didn't wrestle, but to actually see her. Man, that means we've seen her like multiple shows in a row now. Because the match became official on last Rampage, right?
Yes.
Did that happen on Dynamite? Will she be on Rampage again? Will there be anything? Will we actually see continuous things from AEW in the women's division, show after show after show? I'm not getting my hopes up.
So.
I hope so. Not getting my hopes up.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to them. I'm gonna keep my hopes at a specific level that doesn't cause them to go up. But I'm gonna keep a little hope.
Now the curious thing will be with the whole second show and everything coming up, like as they try to shuffle things around. So lots of stuff could happen. We'll see over the next couple weeks, but tonight, to kind of build up, Miss only has had 5 matches in AEW, and one of them was a loss to Jade Cargill. Taya took on Lady Frost.
Lady Frost. Man, this match moved really quick. They're both... they both move very fast in the ring. I haven't gotten to see that out of Taya because she's been working with Jade, who's still a little bit slower. She's a powerhouse though, the pacing's not going to be as quick.
Internally, when you have such a size advantage, you're not going to wrestle that quicker style anyway. Like, you're not going to usually...
Yeah.
There's certain character traits that come with size. Like, when you have longer legs, you're bigger on speed, but it's hard to be as agile because your strides are longer and everything else. So you kind of, because agility requires more quick steps and short little steps.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, this match did move quick though. I like Lady Frost a little bit. The beginning of the first half, maybe even the first 3/4 of the match, I would say were really good. They moved really fast. They were working really well together. And then a little after Jade and crew came out watching from the stage, it wasn't the second half wasn't so clean. The only thing in the second half of the match that I really was digging was that, and I think this might have even been a botch, but it just looked good still. Was it that front flip senton that turned into a heel kick.
Honestly, I can't recall. I'll have to go back to try to catch
and I was
it.
like, I don't know if it was supposed I wonder if it was supposed to actually just be a senton and not a kick. But she definitely like did a heel kick out of a spin, and it was just like I don't know.
I'll have to go back and try to take a look for that one just to kind of see.
She's got some gymnast or karate background or something.
Frost or
Frost.
Yeah, I think during the course of the match they were talking about her using her gymnast background because remember she did like the cartwheel and then got lariated.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that makes sense because you could definitely tell she moves. Yeah, she moves like a gymnast.
I was wondering if you were going to kind of point to when Jade and Layla and Sterling came out because, yes, at that point it became entirely different pacing. It was about the story. They kept doing the whole distracting, calling out to them on the stage, talking trash. So you can tell, yeah, there's a completely different two matches there.
Yeah. There was that second half of that match, like they slowed her down and I'm like, I wonder if a lot of that is just them playing up of Jade being able to get her off her game.
It became, instead of like your focus being 50-50 on the two competitors in the ring, it was still 50 on Taya because she was involved with two different people. You got like 25% on the stage, 25% focus on the other wrestler in the match. So it felt weird because you weren't focusing on just the match at that point anymore.
Right.
It's not even like they were ringside to be able to try to catch it all in one frame or anything. You had to completely cut away from the ring to be able to show Jade and Layla and Mark.
Yeah, I feel like Ty has wrestled on Dynamite more than Jade has.
I mean, over the course of 60 matches for Jade, I hope it's not true.
I mean, well, since Ty has been there, I'm sure I'm pretty sure she's wrestled more matches on Dynamite than Jade.
100% would not surprise me.
It's like I think I've only seen one Jade match in like the last 6 months on Dynamite.
Yeah, that's not a good thing for us to be saying either. It's unfortunate. But this match ends in a very obvious fashion. Aya still gets the win. It's Rose to Valhalla. That angers Jade. Mark acts like, well, Jade wants to come down to the ring, wants to get into it. Mark gets in the way and stops her and tries to get her to have patience. Like, we all know if Jade wanted to get past Mark Sterling, it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna have too much trouble with Mark Sterling. But he's got to let her know. Sunday is when the money.
That is one of the easiest ways to be a heel, and it's so true. But it just works extra with Jade because, well, especially ever since the money outfit.
Yeah, Jade, the money outfit. You tried to murder me with the money outfit. But yeah, you let her know, hey, the money is in it on Sunday, not today. Money talks. Money talks.
So I'm gonna kind of skip over a promo that we could talk about with Blackpool Combat Club, unless you want to talk about something that came from that video. But they had a little video promo early in the night, talk about their focus being split between Ring of Honor and Anarchy in the Arena. If there's anything you want to say about it, go on. But
no,
it felt like a very generic, hey, we're right in front of the pay-per-view promo.
Yeah, it was just, hey, this is what we're going to be doing. These are the matches we'll have.
Briefly, just mentioning that tonight. Then, for versus the Lucha Bros for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships in the main event.
In the main.
No, I literally just realized the very first sound file that I need to put up on Discord now that you could do sound files on Discord. Mark Henry, main event.
The main. Yeah.
Honestly,
I would like that.
the match, good match. Did not have as much time as I would have liked.
Right. You know, common theme here.
I guess it makes sense for the Dynamite right before a pay-per-view, though. You should be trying to pack the show.
Pack the show with just stuff.
You got a lot to promote, man.
But anytime that you got the Lucha Bros in the ring, and then Claudio and Yuta are just so good too. Like, I'ma be happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have loved to see this get like 15 minutes even, because it didn't even get that.
Nope. Because it was like 14, 15 minutes to the top of the hour when, you know, the bell maybe actually rung. And then, of course, you don't just go bell rings, Victor, off the air. There's always a little bit of time after. So definitely not. There was some fun sequences, which is part of the reason why I'm like, I would love to see this again.
Yeah, it was probably only about 11, 12 minutes.
Of course, Danielson was on commentary.
Of course. Critiquing everything.
And also keeping up the tradition of, even though he's not with the company anymore, William Regal, because he loves to refer to Excalibur as the man in the mask. And I always say it's wonderful to see him or whatever. He just doesn't go full flirtation with him like Regal would.
Yeah. I'd always be like, damn, Regal. Like, you're just gonna rip his mask off and have your way with him or something? Yeah.
I mean, if it's the fans that are around us, and I know it came from somewhere, but I forget where. But if it's the fans around us at Dynamite, they'd probably say, grab his dick and twist it.
Oh, yeah.
That was yelled so many times around us.
Yeah, at every sporting event that I've been to since that video has gone viral, someone has yelled that.
Like, there's fun sequences in this, but it's also a match with the Lucha Bros, so it's hard to really write down what the hell is going on half the time.
The Lucha Bros did some sweet stuff, and it was real cool, and it was fast, and I love it. That's how you write it in your notes. I did want to point out that Claudio and Yuta are starting to work better as a tag team. Like, the whole dive off the edge thing's kind of lame to me. Like, when the bigger guy throws the smaller guy, I never really like it. It always looks dumb to me. But other than that, though, those two are starting to work really well as a tag team, and I like that.
Like, there's times
I could see them in the tag division at some point.
There's times where I could see the bigger person throwing a smaller dude, and it makes sense. But usually, in the kind of ways that you see it a lot of times, it just doesn't. Like, if Keith Lee was in a fight with a bunch of people, you wouldn't grab your tag team partner. You would grab maybe another enemy and just, like, chuck him at the group of people you're also trying to fight.
Heck no. Yeah.
Imagine when...
Boys!
Yes. But this match, towards the end, it's, you know, we figured with this bit as a main event, it had to play into the pay-per-view in some kind of way with something happened at the end. Alex is distracting the ref. The Young Bucks are under the ring. They get out, they hold Claudio while the Lucha Bros double team Wheeler Yuta, hit the double stomp Fear Factor for the win. Bucks hopped into the crowd.
And the Bucks are just super kicking the shit out of Claudio.
I just want to see them hop into the crowd.
They use super kicks like jabs, and I love it.
And it probably looks better than their jabs. But I kind of wanted when they first hopped into the crowd and they didn't run away. I would love to just see them with like popcorn, just toss it back popcorn. Okay, well, we didn't do nothing.
Like, yeah, we just here to watch. Nothing to see.
Eventually, Danielson comes down for a commentary when Mox runs out, and they go for the Bucks, but they leave through the crowd. And then, thankfully, it wasn't as rambly as he normally often is. Mox grabs the mic to end the show right before the pay-per-view.
Yeah. You and your weak ass little friends.
It's funny because it feels like lately, with this all going on, maybe it's more of as a heel, I don't know. He's been a little bit more concise and to the point.
I think he's fitting in more naturally as a heel. I don't know. I feel like he's getting to be the full Jon Moxley now. Like, I don't know. Babyface Jon Moxley, it felt like there was a leash on him, kind of. And it feels like he's getting to be the full him now.
So he gets to be a bit more vicious in the ring and kind of can be a little bit more of an asshole with the stuff he says.
Yeah. He says the Anarchy in the Arena is gonna be the most violent match ever in AEW. And usually when he says stuff like that, he's not wrong.
It'll be interesting because I think it was an Anarchy in the Arena match. Remember when I can't remember who got hurt, but remember I think it was Danielson and no, it was when Danielson got hurt because of Jericho and Hager. In that one match where they tore apart the ring and everything. I mean, there's been some brutal matches. The first War Games match was pretty freaking brutal. And not in like a GCW type of way like we saw in ours. Like barbed wire class, etc. Still be interesting to see. Be interesting to see. I'll try to keep my opinion on that like to myself for a couple days until you get to see it.
It's gonna be so hard
because this asshole isn't gonna watch the pay-per-view when it happens.
Hey.
Ooh, this man.
Hey, man. I have other loves out there too.
Is that everything that's actually worth covering? I think so.
Yeah, because we pretty much did cover everything else. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, somebody should buy me that Space FTR shirt. If there's anyone out there watching that's a big fan and wants to see me wearing a Space FTR shirt, buy it for me. 2X.
And my first reaction when you said that was like, I do wish I might have had to get 2 shirts because I was getting the Adam Cole shirt at Dynamite. I like that shirt.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have been a little bit more of a conversation because we only had the option of that old vintage one, and I was like, out of the two.
If they had the space one there, I would have been like, don't ask me.
No, the better answer, and we've used this in recent conversation, would have been treat yourself.
Yeah. That might have eventually been my conclusion. But my initial thought would have been like brain explode, have to choose.
That part is just, I still almost went back because there wasn't a line. I was like, wait. Do I have to get my foam scissor fingers? We're here. I don't have to do shipping and wait. Because I did think about turning around and go back. I'm like, wait, scissor fingers.
I keep going back and forth on whether or not I'm gonna end up getting some scissor fingers.
I feel like, let's say I get that fancy computer and I save up for a house and I get to really take the time to do what I want in a room wherever my computer is. I could find the spot for it. Like, I wouldn't mind doing like those storage cubes in the background where you can kind of put something in like every cube and have like LED lights behind it, whatever. I'm just not trying to figure out what to do with this space and spend the money, time, and the effort to make it that way. I mean, my objective is not to make a move.
Right.
And money towards that project is money taken away from trying to make a move.
That's right. That is right.
So with that being
said, sometimes you gotta treat yourself.
That's where the computer can come in sooner rather than later. Like, as opposed to spending on the computer and all the gadgets, we'll just get the most expensive thing out of that group.
It's a good plan.
Now, with that being said, since we said there isn't really much more to cover, if you are still here or watching this later as the whole video as opposed to a video clip, that means we must be doing something to entertain you, or we're pulling a Jungle Boy in. You're what you're listening to put you asleep. Either way, make sure you hit like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. What else can they do, Range? Because I can't think of anything.
Head on over to Discord. We do have that. We can chat about wrestling and stuff with us.
You can see my Maki Ito pictures from this past weekend.
Yes. And then, other than that, you can watch more wrestling.
Just don't spoil Double or Nothing for him.
And don't tell me about Double or Nothing until like Tuesday. Let's say like Tuesday at like 2 p.m. Because I'm pretty sure I will have watched it by that time.
Because I'm going to be like, sir, you can't tell me to wait till Wednesday. There's a whole other Dynamite that Wednesday. I hope you're caught up by then.
Yeah, I'll watch it on Tuesday. For sure. Like, first thing when I get up. So that way I can actually look at my phone again.
This man has like 37 paid holidays off. This might be a vacation day, but it's also right after a holiday, so I don't know which it is.
Okay, well, yeah, I only took one day off.
Okay.
So I get Memorial Day off. But I just took the Tuesday off, too.
I just wasn't sure because you had the other ones where it's like, oh, Christmas falls on the weekend? Well, congrats. You're going to have Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday off, even though it's a Sunday.
That's like, how a lot of them work.
So that's why I would have been surprised if they gave you Tuesday off, too.
Oh, yeah. They usually don't give you the day after if it's during the week. So, for instance, 4th of July weekend, 4th of July is on a Tuesday. So we get the Monday, the 3rd off already.
I'd rather have the 5th off in case you go to like barbecues and drink and stuff. You know, because America.
But I'll take it, you know.
Anyways, everyone, have yourself a wonderful night.
Yeah.